Coming back in to do another one of my lives. I just realized my water bottle's even in the camera. Just waiting for some people to join in, to get in here with us on this new moon energy day, on the Ring of Fire day. Okay. I only have a short period of time, so I don't have a lot of time today. Again, I haven't had a lot of time all week, but that's okay. Just bring it up on my phone while we're waiting. It doesn't. I'm not seeing it. Where am I? Am I on Facebook's? Yes. Okay. Hi, Chandra and Tracy. There I am. Okay. I'm not seeing the video. That's where. I don't know where I am there. That's weird. Here we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I discovered the problem with my Facebook, and why it was going nowhere, it was somehow changed from public figure into service. And so all of my videos are not coming up the way they should be coming up. So there was somehow, I don't know how this happened, but somehow my Facebook page went from a public figure page to a service page. So none of my videos were going where they're meant to go. And so they weren't getting out anywhere at all for like the past, I want to say for about a year. They've been really like drastically. The past few months has been the absolute worst. No, Tracy, I don't know where I am most days. No. I know very much where I am now, actually. I gotta take my socks off. Hold on, guys. I was out walking in between clients today. I walked. So I completed the new moon meditation this morning, and had another client, and then a walk, and now I'm here, and now I have another client in a half hour. So I just want to get in here rather than in my vehicle with the vehicle running and a dog panting. I wanted to get in here today so I can just get in to do a quick reading of this energy that we have happening. Good morning, Destiny. I'm kind of having as soon as we started, I'm like having an overheating moment here. I feel like everything is like closing in. And that's what the energy feels like right now in this very moment. It feels like there's like this closing in of energy. And I don't know what's going down yet, but it's something is, like I said, with the chessboard, when I see like the chess game, like someone's like the grandfather energy of it, it's like it's like closing up. I just feel like something is coming in at me. I just see, and the way I'm seeing it is like as if I'm traveling through that black hole kind of energy. And so as a mystic and as a channel, I have to take everything metaphorically, and I have to place it into some sort of sense of what it means to us. So I tell you how I see it. It doesn't mean it's all really happening out there. It's how my creative abilities see it. So there's something feels like it's closing in. We have a closing in of energy. I feel like I'm traveling like through space, through time. I feel like it's like I'm seeing all the stars. I'm seeing all this energy. And I feel like it's like, I just feel like it's just like freaking just like we are being pushed through something. We're being pushed into a new paradigm, a new energy, a new time. There is a shift. And I do feel like there is a stage of darkness. And there's not. In order to get to good things, other things have to die, and we have to let things fall away. And I just feel like there is something that is not of the highest good in the world, like, but it's a part of the change. There is something coming. There's something falling, there's something coming. And I could see it like when I seen the Ring of Fire energy this morning, I could see that. And I kept seeing hope and just mercy. Show ourselves mercy, because there is some sort of like how our angers and how our dividedness and our divisions and how we've turned against our own people. I feel like we're going to be like I live in the middle road. I feel like there's going to be some burdens to carry based on some of that. And we're no longer playing the game, but I'm just like, show ourselves mercy. We are all not an enemy. We are not a weapon. We are not the bad ones. We are not a problem to Mother Earth. We are not destroying Mother Earth. We are not any of those things. Not us as an individual human being. Not as you as one little human being. The ego's desire to conquer the world, to be more than God, to be bigger than larger than life, has caused most of the destruction. But they want it all to lay back on you, that you are responsible for it. So even amongst our own people, in your own groups, there's always that one greed, that one energy, that one something that was present, that was coming through. And so what we're being told is that we are actually hope. We're hope, but we got to return to that hope. But you're going to see something come down. I'm like, it looks like an asteroid is how it looks to me. I feel like I'm an asteroid. I feel like I'm like shooting through the sky and I just see this explosion of energy and everything just goes black. But there's light. And then everything lights back up. And we're hope. We are not the enemies. We're not the weapons. We are the everyday people. And we did not cause everything they want to lay blame. It's like we're being scolded and punished for something we didn't do, but we are truly believing we did these things, like because we've heard it on repeat for so long, being deprogrammed from all of this. We didn't cause the greed in the world. Not the 99%. You didn't cause the greed in the world. You didn't cause the hate in the world. We didn't cause the divide amongst our own peoples. We didn't cause any of that. It's always one that starts that fire. There's always one that lights that spark, that flame, that becomes the gossip bag, that becomes that energy that says, we all need to turn again. You see what they're doing. You see what that's happening. You see what's right. And so then they create an image and a story and it travels like freaking wildfire and it causes major destruction and harm. And then it's like, we got to blame somebody for what we just did because we know it wasn't right and we've seen the damage, but somebody has to be held responsible and it's not going to be me. And that's what the world is. So we, as everyday people, we have to become the hope. And that's what it is. Where are we having to bring awareness into ourselves today? What am I responsible for? What is my role? How do I show up? And to see yourself, I always say today, so in my meditation, I spoke about mercy and I spoke about a deeper understanding. What we're asked, what the intention of today is to ask the universe, ask the God consciousness, ask source, whatever it is that you believe in, ask yourself, your higher self, to give you a deeper understanding of you, to become the explorer of you. Stop looking into everyone else. Stop letting your desired reflection of hate, of judgment, of criticism, of neglect, of anything, reflect out onto another today and reflect love, a loving thought back into you and say to yourself, how have I been a contributing factor of my own existence? How have I allowed this to happen? Give me a deeper understanding of me so that I can come to understand my own shortcomings. I want to understand my own shortcomings so that I am not so feared, triggered, reactive to every little thing that is out there, that I don't have to be that energy. So I'm not that. So I don't be caught up in that. And that then I can step back in, show ourselves mercy, hand over those past stories, hand over that energy. We want to be changed. We have to embody all that encompasses us. And that is the sense of love, joy, happiness, contentment. It is within us. And at some point in our lives, like if you look back through history and you say, oh, we were such content people. Well, that's often a lie, because were you really content or were you seeking out something? Like, and I'm thinking back in other lifetimes, like years ago, 100 years ago, 2 years ago, if you were so content, you wouldn't have been seeking something else. So you weren't content. Oh, we didn't have fighting. We were peaceful. No, we were not peaceful because we fight amongst ourselves. We always end up, I always say, we end up eating our own if we got no one else to fight with. When we have those stories and we have those energies and we get caught up in them and we try to convince ourselves of that, and we're unwilling to look at our own shortcomings, our own behavior. And it is so important right now that if we want to become better human beings and who we are, is that we truly have to look a little bit deeper, a little bit closer, to want to come to understand ourselves. And these are hard things to have to face. And as a healer, I'm the reflection of everything that you need to face within yourself. So if you come in and you're hearing these, I don't want to hear that. That's just stupid what she's saying. You click it and you turn it off. Well, that's something inside of yourself, that reaction, that response, that feeling that you had in that moment. That's something that you have to bring awareness to. That's coming to deeper understanding. And that's what I have done over the past few years. That's how I wrote More Than Existing. That's how I wrote From Beyond the Reflection. And that's how I wrote Wine and Chips. And that's how I gave up wine. And that's how I'm working on all the other of my shortcomings and coming to, in a loving space for within myself, to have hope and faith in me, to know that I have what it takes to be a much better human being. To be, even if I was a good human being before, I still did the things like I wasn't always a peaceful human being. I wasn't always loving. I wasn't always kind, obviously, or else I wouldn't have had some of the conflict that I have that exists within me. And we all have been there. We've all done that. And so those are the things that when you can come to understand you, you can come to understand other people. But you can also see where the original problem started. And I can tell you most times it starts amongst ourselves. It starts with one person, one thought within ourselves, one desire, one want, one reflection, one something of seeing something else that somebody else has. And then we just say, you know what? I need to convince everybody else because I think this is right. And I don't want to convince anybody. I want everybody to come into their own self, to be able to not be so quick to respond. This whole impulsive coaching, like now, you did this now, and you can become this now, and you have all of this potential. Well, fuck, if they let a floodgate of all that was inside of us, that was inside that potential box, if you let the spiritual and emotional maturity within us have all of that, well, we'd all be tyrants. We would all be tyrants because we wouldn't know how to handle that kind of power, that kind of energy, and we wouldn't be prepared for it. This is a time of emotional, spiritual maturity within our own selves. This is not a time to give that selling market of even fearing people into faith, of false sense of potential. We grow into potential. You evolve into potential. Everything that we exist within, every story, is the way that we take the journey. Ho'oponopono. I'm trained in it. Is actually a clearing. It is not maxing a potential you're not ready for, right? It's like you're seeing the beauty inside. So yes, so we see beauty in someone, we see beauty, and it's a reflection of yourself. And so that's how you start to heal, because you don't keep looking for the bad things, you look for the good things, because the good things have humble. They have been on the journey of humility, and and that piece of us understands our truth more than ever. So yes, Chandra, exactly. And so that journey is really a truth. And that technique was actually used in a prison way back. The man who created it, he's Hawaiian, he's beautiful soul. And he used it, he was a psychologist or psychiatrist, I think. And he used it in a clinic. And within like a few months, all these patients who they had listed as like pretty much were never going to ever have a chance at life again were healed. They were healed. They were better. And you know what changed? It's healing the inner child. It's healing the inner youth. It is healing the essence of the image or the story that we hold on to. So what we do in More Than Existing, in all of More Than Existing, is we're always looking back and we see life through the eyes of who you are today, not through the eyes of who you were. You look back at the child you were. You look back at that image. And that's actually my new moon meditation today when it comes out, is that you look back at a child. I see you, I feel you, I hear you, I love you. You acknowledge that child. You were not responsible for everything that happened. And that's pretty much what we're talking to within the world today. We are not responsible for everything that is going wrong in the world today. We are not. And we can't, and it's like we can't hold, like we got, and by that we look back at ourselves. We're responsible for what's happening today, but we're not responsible over here. I see you, I hear you, I feel you, that you feel like you have to keep carrying those burdens. You have to keep carrying your ancestors' genetic issues and problems. No, we don't. That's not your responsibility. That's not your journey. Your journey is to find joy and to create heaven on earth. And that's what we're here to do, right? That's what we're here to do. Right? Exactly. Right? Is that past hurt. Yeah. Yeah, you divide it because you're living your truth, living my truth, feeling judged by others because I'm not feeling the same as them. Yes, exactly, right? And so I live in peace. I speak about the world not being at peace. I speak about the negative energy. I speak about what's out there, but I'm not fearing what we have to exist within. Same thing, I did not fear this pandemic. And I didn't live in fear of it. And if this had been me during the pandemic 20 years ago, I would have been a mess. This would have been me. I realized how strong I was, or the courage and strength I had as we came through some of the other things that I've existed in. And no matter, it has impacted me. And I'm definitely, a victim to the circumstances of the pandemic. There's no doubt, but I'm not a victim. And that's a truth because everybody is affected by it. So it's like, but it's changed us. It's given us an opportunity. So these experiences, I believe, are an opportunity. I believe that this is an opportunity for, and by this, I mean, I believe within me that I have an opportunity to see how I'll show up, how I'll react, how I'll respond. So even when those darkness comes in, or when the world has to experience existence in what it's created, because I didn't create it. And that's what you have to remember. You didn't create it. Not you. I didn't create it. The world is existing within it. But what is my role that I need to do to be the hope, to be the light, to be the kindness, to be the compassion, to be the change that we want to see in the world? And that's where it comes in. Ah. So, Destiny, you need to listen to my meditation when it comes out today. We will all lose people in human form. We don't lose them. The essence of who they are stays, right? And so all that we were dealt in life, we don't get what we need, but what do we learn from it? Right? It's like, who, just because life hasn't given you your ideal life yet, it doesn't mean the ideal life is not there. Your ideal life is like your ideal partner. It's waiting for you to become the ideal image of what you need to be to walk into it. And that's the difference. And not until you become what you need to be, for any of us, that's not for you, Destiny, but that's how, when we become the best of us, the best of our lives comes into us. Because we start walking into that instead of trying to keep putting band-aids and fixes on, keep buying stuff and keep doing these things to fill up in this material world. And we're not here to do this. So we have to come in to us. And the faded experiences, we'll never prevent those. We are all, just like I always say, it's like when I hear someone say, you have no idea what I've gone through during the pandemic. I'm like, we've all gone through lots during the pandemic. but it doesn't discount yours, and it doesn't make yours any less valuable. And you are worth, you know, you're allowed your experience, and you're allowed to grieve your experience. You're allowed to be present in your experience, but you're not allowed to discount you. Well, you can, but you paid a price for that. Is what we keep doing to ourselves during those experiences. What is it costing you to keep doing those things to you during those experiences? Because the ones that loved us would never ever want us to cause ourselves more misery, to torture ourselves, to be anything other than loving to ourselves. And that's the truth. Exactly. Highest vibrations brings the highest good. The world don't come to you. You come into your world. And when you come into your world, that's the beginning of you now walking in your truth. It is you starting a journey of being willing to observe you, just or to understand you. So if you just coming in later in this, go back and listen all the way back to the beginning of this, because the power of the message is in the very beginning. It's that deeper understanding of self. Oh, I'm so glad I got my walk in. It's raining again. And so, yes, so the energy I see, it's like soon as I started, it's like this world outside of us, like that cyber world out there. There's something out there that feels like it is closing in. I felt like I'm like this asteroid. I'm like traveling through it. And it's like this bleak darkness. And then there's light though. I know there's light. And then something comes to life. But there's some stuff out there that is at play or in the works, something that is being in secret societies and secret little groups, and something not so sweet or not so pretty. And I've said this for a while. I keep seeing people coming out of big buildings in handcuffs. I keep seeing people being held responsible and accountable, the right kind of people. And or not the right kind of people, the right people that are responsible, not that we are. We have to stop believing we are the weapon, we are the enemy, and we have to stop turning the every other everyday person into that. And we have to become the hope. See ourselves as the image of hope. And that's what we have to walk into. Walk into our love, walk into our light, and let your world come in for you. And I hope that helps you somehow. I do have to go. I have a client. So much, much love. Thank you for being here with me today. This is the energy for June 10th. That's what I'm reading through. That's what I have. And so much love. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.